Alright guys, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is Ali Plays. And today we're going to be doing a guide on Defiled Sinner. This is going to be a guide, review, and showcase. And I will let you guys know if this guy is good or not. And we're going to wear all white so we can try to remain pure while we're talking about the Defiled Sinner. Let's get started. Alright, so here we are. We got Defiled Sinner. We got him maxed out as you guys saw in the thumbnail. 100% max gameplay on Defiled Sinner. We're going to be doing two different builds for him. Because I'm going to run him in Spider's Den twice. I'm going to showcase him with a stun set and without a stun set. So we'll do the without the stun set first. But before we do that, let's take a look at his skills. So his A1 ability, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense. So he does have a big version of decreased defense, but his ability keeps changing depending on how many enemies there are that are alive. And depending on where you're using him, this actually might be good or bad. So obviously, if you're using the Spiders, then you do want that AoE. So if you have 5 or more enemies are alive, he does the following attack instead. So he attacks all enemies and places a 25% increased attack buff for 2 turns before attacking. So he does buff himself before attacking, even though this is a weak version of increased attack. So it seems like Spider's Den is one of those places that he will almost always use this ability, depending on what your team setup is. So as I said, if you build him with a stun set, he's always going to be using this ability. And there's people saying that his AI is bugged. So if you throw him on auto, he's just going to keep using his A1, which actually won't be a problem, man. If you have a stun set on him, you won't have an issue with that. Also, if you want to use him as an affinity tank, because he does have affinity disadvantage against a spider. And right for slaughter, he attacks one enemy and then attacks all enemies, inflicting damage equal to 15% of their max HP if the first hit kills an enemy. This ability is very, very bad so far from what I've been testing. 15% of max HP is very low. I don't know why his ability is nerfed compared to Husk and Royal Guard and Cold Heart. And the second hit cannot be critical, so he can't even crit on that second hit. So it is pretty bad, but you guys can see the damage for yourself as I showcase him. Corrosive Smog attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 10% for each enemy alive, and it stacks up to 100%. So as you can see right away from his kit, you're thinking that this ability is going to do a lot of damage on Spider's Den, as well as dungeons, things like that. We'll show you guys this. I'll show you guys, don't worry. So on paper, this guy's kit looks very nice, other than his A2 is kind of suspect right there. But I'll also show you guys why it's a good thing that his AI is bugged, because you do want him to use that A1 constantly in Spider's Den if you want to run him as a stun set, or if you want to use him as the affinity tank. All right, let's take a look at his artifacts. So I did not actually do these artifacts. I just told my brother I wanted. He did it for me. I had a headache that day. I couldn't do his artifacts for him. So I told him, I want you to set him up so that he has 100% crit rate, high crit damage. I want him to be an attacker, basically. So he did that for me, but he's running old broken sets. So the subsets you're going to be looking for Defiled Sinner, even though, honestly, guys, I do not really recommend building this guy. But if you want to go ahead and build him just for fun, subsets you're going to be looking for is crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, speed. He doesn't need accuracy unless you really want that decreased defense, but his ability changes depending on how many enemies there are in the battle. And if you also want to use him in arena, you can actually build him with resistance so that he doesn't get stunned or frozen, things like that. You guys can take a look at my substats on these pieces. I went with the crit damage primary on the gauntlets, and we went with attack percentage chest plate, and we got the speed primary boots. And for the accessories, we try to get as much attack as we can, and we went with the crit damage primary on the amulet, and we went with whatever has the most attack percentage. Ideally, I would actually wanted to use a resistance banner here, just so I won't have issues when I showcase him in arena for you guys. But hopefully my Duchess can help me showcase him. But yeah, again, honestly, guys, I do not recommend working on Defiled Sinner. I did say that he was one of my underrated epic champions, but I guess he is not underrated. His kit looks very good on paper, but I have tested him out for you guys. And yeah, let's take a look at his total stats now. 3,247 attack. That is actually pretty low. I actually wanted him to get it up to 4,000, but it's okay. We have 234% crit damage, 105% crit rate, 172 speed, and resistance is only 59. Let's take a look at the masteries. We went through the offense route and we went through the defense route. So I got Retribution and I got Deterrence. And I also went down to get War Master. If you want to build him some other way, you can actually use Flawless Execution, or you can use Helm Smasher as well, depending on your build. So don't just copy paste. Make sure you guys use it depending on your team composition. All right, so the first place we go in to test him out is in Arena. Don't expect much, guys. just a warning. Don't expect too much. All right, so obviously they're going to go first. They're going to kill Defiled Sinner. Oh, no, he's still alive. He's still alive. Hold your horses, man. Still alive for now. All right, so we're actually going to place Decreased Defense. He has the big version of Increased Attack on him. So I don't know what you guys want to test out. This ability is going to be just an A1. This ability is just going to attack one person only right now because it needs 5 or more enemies that are alive in order to do that. I would actually prefer if Plarium just gave this guy an A1 that has Decreased Defense AoE. I think that would be much better, but that's not the case. We can also do this. We can attack all enemies and attacks one enemy, and then we can attack all enemies equal to 15% of the max HP. I don't think that's going to do a lot of damage because in Arena, the enemy max HP abilities don't deal too much damage. So we're going to go ahead and do the Corrosive Smog. We're going to attack all enemies and damage increases by 10% for each enemy alive, and it stacks up to 100%. So we got 40% more damage to what it is. So what his total damage is. So let's try that out. We're going to place on 1-time speed. We're going to see how much damage this actually does. Let's see if we can be surprised. I mean, he got a big damage boost, and this is apparently his hardest hitting ability. So not too impressive, I guess. It was hard to set up. As you can see, I actually had to keep him alive, which was, he had like a sliver of HP left. We'll try this team out. This team is going to wreck us, obviously, but just for showcase purposes, we're going against this team. I do not think he's good against Rotos or Torment, obviously. And on a regular team, this guy's going to die. Alright, we're going to do this now. We're going to do the attack on enemies based on enemy max HP. See how much damage that does. We're going to go... we're going to go ahead and use Big Gun. Because it says if the first hit kills an enemy. So we're going to try to actually kill Big Gun. I don't know if that's going to work. Put on 1-time speed to see how much damage. Oh, that's actually a lot of damage there. That was actually surprising. Wow. I know he had Decreased Defense and he had attack up, but that was actually pretty surprising. I thought it was going to be weaker than that. But did it attack the other enemies? It did, right? But barely any damage. And we're going to try out his basic attack as well. I want to see how much damage he can do with it. Yeah, let's try. Oh, we have affinity disadvantage, but we're going to try it out anyways. Yeah, we got a weak hit. Get rid of Duchess. There we go. Let's hope Rotos doesn't kill him. We want to showcase him a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to use his basic attack on Rotos. Let's see how much damage we can do. 16,000 damage on his basic attack. Yeah, that is pretty low. Pretty low. So I don't expect much if it's an AoE, but I will showcase him as a campaign farmer for you guys as well. Let me get some water. So honestly, I don't think he's that good in Arena. You saw that I actually had to like set him up. I had to make my team, build my team around him and protect him, like I do with most of my showcases, because I have Duchess there to do that, so I can actually showcase the champions for you. So what I'm gonna do now is actually go into campaign to see if he can campaign farm. He should be going first. I think he can't even AoE in the beginning. See, this is one of the issues is. I feel like he can be a campaign farmer if there were one more enemy. It's kind of messed up. That's kind of messed up. So he's gonna be a very, very slow campaign farmer. Yeah, like you can see his ability doesn't do too much damage, 28,000 damage. And these are relatively weak enemies. $25,000. Yeah, that's taking way too long though. And he actually has good artifacts on. They're not like very bad. We might actually lose. This bomb goes off. We're gonna lose. Oh man, I haven't lost one of these in a long time. Yo, he might lose. He lost. Yeah, so he's not a good campaign farmer because his A1 is not even an AoE. Come on, man. You're supposed to be a defiled sinner, man. Let's go. Oh man, that's embarrassing for him, man. I even have rares that can campaign farm, man. Come on. Alright, so I'm gonna rate him very low in campaign farming. Alright, so we tested him out in arena, we tested him out in campaign. And now we're gonna go ahead and take him to Dragon's Lair. So he has the reason why I'm taking the Dragon's Lair because he actually has affinity advantage here. So we're gonna put him in place of Ray. And he should be doing his AoEs now. Let's see his AoEs now. So I'll showcase the first wave. Yeah, there we go. He did an AoE like 15,000 damage was the highest one, so it is pretty low. And he's supposed to be a damage dealer, so he's an attack type champion. So his scaling is very bad. His one ability actually did a lot of damage, as you saw with Big Gun. So yeah, we're gonna skip to the dragon now. All right, so 1 minute and 6 seconds to get here. Man, there are like rare champions that can do a better job than him in waves. 45,000, 41,000 with the giants, the War Master proc. Not too bad there, I guess, but there's some rare champions that can do a better job in waves than he can. I mean, for me, he feels like he's underwhelming. 55,000, that's pretty good, but he has affinity advantage here. And here's the thing, I actually do not think that he's good in Ice Golem's Peak at all. Same with Fire Knight's Castle. Unless you actually want to build him with a stun set, if you need help with that. But if you have Bellower, I would just build Bellower instead of him. He might actually wipe. Let's go. Yeah, he has that one ability that does a lot of damage. That's about it. So yeah, 1 million damage. I guess that's not bad, but there are rare champions, as I said, that can do better damage than him. And there are better epic champions as well that you can build instead of him. Now we're gonna go to Spider's Den, because this is where a lot of people saw potential in his kit. And we're gonna build him on my nuke team first. And then I'm gonna actually switch his artifacts out, and we're gonna build him with stun set, see if he's actually viable with a stun set. So we're gonna try it with this team first. And you're gonna see from his AI that he just keeps using his A1 constantly. He doesn't use any other abilities. There we go, that's his A1. And the thing is though, you can actually use him as an affinity tank as well. But again, there are better options as well, like a Sinesha. And that strat is not very reliable also. So I'm gonna place this on 2 times speed now, and you guys can see the total damage with the damage build. All right, there we go. Fight's over. He did 2,400,000 damage, but it's kind of like artificially fluctuated because he's attacking the spiderlings. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead now, switch him to a stun set. Let's see how often he actually stuns. I know it's like a fixed rate, but that can actually help you out if you have Ultimate Gallic with an HP burn, and you can just stun the ads with Defiled Sinner. Or you just use a Bellower, honestly, but yeah, just to showcase purposes, we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna switch out his set. And I will stop the recording right now and then put it back in once I switch out his sets. All right, so now we have him with a stun set, and you guys can take a quick look at his total stats before we go back into Spider's Den. So his attack dropped a lot. His speed is around the same. Crit rate dropped a bit, and crit damage is actually not that bad for a stun set. And his accuracy did go up, and his resistance also went up. So yeah, we're gonna try this out with a stun set. All right, so it's gonna be an auto now, and then we'll see how much he actually stuns, even though it's a fixed rate. Miscreating Monster was like, he's like, I'll show you how to stun, man. This guy literally stunned everybody, man. He never does that. Miscreating Monster, man. This is supposed to be a showcase for Defiled Sinner. All right, we got one stun, one measly stun. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, this is how you stun there. This is how you stun. Let's use Miscreated Monster. So I'm gonna play this on 2 times speed now. Actually, I'm just gonna cut it to the end, guys. We're gonna cut it to the end. Alright, so yeah, around the same amount of damage. So honestly, it didn't even matter that I built him as a DPS, but he did 2 million damage. And stunning wasn't, his stuns weren't even that good. Obviously compared to Miscreated Monster, he was doing all that work. Before we do that, I actually want to showcase one thing. I want to show you his enemy max HP ability in Spider's Den. So I'm just going to use that on manual. And I'll show you guys that it actually is not very good for late stages in Spider's Den. Even though he has a stun set, he still has pretty high stats. But you'll see that he actually needs to kill an enemy, which he's not going to be able to do. Okay, so look at this guy's damage. If he uses his AoE, that's the enemy max HP ability. He did a lot of damage on everybody, right? So he attacks one enemy and then attacks all enemies, inflicting damage equal to 15% of their max HP if the first hit kills an enemy, and the second hit cannot be critical. So we're actually going to try to attack one of the lowest HP. Actually, honestly, I don't even know which one it is. Might be this one. Might be this one. They look pretty the same. They look the same to me. We're going to go for this one. So yeah, he wasn't able to kill it. So that's going to be an issue right there for Spider. And he also has affinity disadvantage. But you can actually use him in earlier stages of Spider's Den. But the enemy max HP ability would be even lower because it's a lower stage. You know what I mean? Because there's a lower max HP in those lower stages. I just keep saying lower over and over again. All right, so yeah, we're going to skip this straight to the end again. All right, so now we're going to review Defiled Center. For Spider's Den, I actually think he should be lower. Obviously his AI is messed up. Even his AI was even fixed, he would still be not that good for Spider's Den. For early game stages of Spider's Den, maybe stage 1 to 15, I think he is viable, I think, but for later stages, he's lower. So I would say he's good, but he's not like amazing for Spider's Den. Campaign locations, I actually think that he is overrated in campaign locations. He's got a 4.2 rating. I would actually give him a I'll give him a 2. I'll give him a 2. Arena offense, I'll give him a 3. You guys saw how much damage he could do with that one ability, but everything else, keeping him alive and all that stuff is hard to do. Obviously it's all about team composition, but he's not strong enough to warrant to actually put him in your team. Force Heave, I'll give him a 4. Farnax Castle, I'll give him a 2, I guess. Just for the waves if you build up on the stun set. But that's too situational. Dragon's Lair, I'll actually give him a 4. Why not? There's obviously better champions than him. But yeah, I'll give him a 4. Clan Boss, he does have decreased defense, so I would give him an acceptable, but I wouldn't recommend using him. Minotaur's Labyrinth, I'll give him a 4. He can do some damage, but not too much. But that one ability, again, that can help you out. And he can also help you out on the waves if you need somebody to stun with a stun set. Magic Keep, he has affinity advantage, so he's going to be a 4. Arena Defense, I'll actually give him a 2. Ice Golem's Peak, I say he's acceptable if you don't have anybody else. Void Keep, we're going to give him a 3. Spirit Keep, give him a 3. Faction Wars, there's actually a lot of good undead hordes champions, so I'd actually give him a 2 for Faction Wars. I actually don't think that he deserves that 4.7. I think that is way too high for him. Recommend Artifacts. These are what they have for them. I don't like this guy, man. Don't work on this guy. Don't work on this guy. He's one of those champions that trolls you because he has a good kit on paper other than his Right for Slaughter ability. But overall, man, he's very, very underwhelming, and he definitely does need a rework. So definitely do not work on this dude. I actually had him as one of my underrated champions. You know why? Because of his kit. His kit looks very good, but it's actually not good. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Good thing that I tested him off for you guys before we built him. And yeah, make sure you guys spread the word, man. Don't work on Defiled Sinner until he actually gets a rework. And I don't know if Plarium will even give him a rework, but he definitely needs one. So if you guys found this video helpful or entertaining anyway, make sure you guys drop a like. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm Tyrone. I need everybody to subscribe to the homie Ali Al Plays. And that's non-negotiable either.